if you want to get technical, it's called narrative theology, the ability to tell stories that helps us to understand God more perfectly and God's ways and God's values. I want you to put yourself in the audience 2,000 years ago as Jesus is sharing and teaching. And all of a sudden, a lawyer, someone trained in understanding the Mosaic law and trained in how to be very technical and very academic and very scholarly in mincing out and parting text so that you can get right to specific points. Someone who has good language skills that can be very exacting. He tests Jesus. And this was not unordinary because normally when one would meet a rabbi, if you're not familiar with that teacher, you would raise the question as to how good they are in scholarly and academic things. And so you would raise that by asking a technical question. That's what a lawyer did. How do I experience eternal life? Jesus said, well, what does the law say? What do you think? How do you read it? The guy is technical and accurate. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, all your strength, all your soul. And love your neighbor as yourself. Jesus said, you're right. Then the guy wanted to get slick because his definition of neighbor was very narrow. A neighbor in Jewish thought was someone who looks like me, believes what I believe, or a proselyte, someone who converted to Judaism. That's my neighbor. Jesus then broadens the definition. He said, let me tell you who a neighbor is. And he used the form of teaching or storytelling where it's referred to as a triadic form, T-R-I-A-D-I-C, a triadic. So there are three characters and movements. A priest or a guy was going from Jerusalem to Jericho and he fell among robbers. See, along that road from Jerusalem to Jericho, there was a group of rocks, large boulders, that it was a known hiding place for robbers. They'd hide out behind the rocks. And when an unsuspecting traveler comes by, they pounce on that person, steal their goods, or kill them and steal their goods. And so this happened to a traveler. So here's the triadic form. A priest was going down, sees the wounded man, goes on the other side of the road. A Levite, an assistant to a priest, sees the wounded man, goes on the other side of the road without helping. So the triadic nature is that a Jewish layman comes. So rather than saying that, Jesus shocked them. He gave the picture of their most dreaded of social enemies, a Samaritan. They despised him. It's like saying in our day, a Jewish guy is laying on the ground and a skinhead went over and helped him. It just shocked everybody. It's like saying that here's a white guy wounded and a member of the Black Panther took him to the Marriott and dressed his wounds and took care of him. I mean, it just shocked you. That's what Jesus is doing when he's painted that picture and gave that story. And so what he's really showing us is this. Let me show you what the picture of reconciliation looks like. Someone that you would think is hostile towards you helps you. Their internal hostility has been washed or cleansed, and now there's social connection. They're at peace, and their relationship is healthy and loving. The picture of reconciliation. Like a man and woman were separated, they got reconciled, reunited. So reconciliation is a social word. It's a word that captures the picture of connection, friendship connection again, in a deep and most meaningful way. Got the picture? Now I want you to see what are the lessons that Jesus is lifting out of the story for the lawyer to learn. And we who are eavesdropping in on the storytelling of Jesus, we also can learn. Let me show you these three lessons so that we can learn how to model reconciliation. Now I know some of you are thinking, Pastor, look, I have no problems with anybody that's different than me. That's good, that's great. But let me ask you the question a different way. How effective are you in helping other people that have problems with people that are different than themselves get free from the problems and then become a reconciler? Because if you're not good at helping to help others break down their prejudices and build reconciliatory relationships, then you're going to have a tough time being one that makes a big difference in the world around you. You may be someone, rather, that just have a small little ripple. Nothing wrong with small little ripples, but I want to have the biggest ripple effect possible in my life. That is what we need to shoot after.